Hey, Razzies, how's it going? We haven't talked in a while. Real quick, I just want to ask you a question. So you come in a little closer. Let's get a little closer. Just want to wait 15 seconds so that this video doesn't get demonetized. Okay, perfect. Hey, Razzies, what the fuck are you doing? What is this? Like, I always thought the Razzies was like a silly little thing. And to be fair, when I started noticing it, I was like in high school. I didn't have a very, complicated sense of humor. I didn't really think about the implications of making fun of people for making movies and like trying hard. Now, to be fair, there's plenty of people in the movie industry that we could take down a peg with some sort of fun little thing, I think what you guys did with Pinocchio, fantastic. I thought that was also a very bad movie. Tom Hanks one, obviously, and the Pauly Shore one. But no, the Guillermo del Toro one is great, and Puss in Boots has Pinocchio in it, also great. So we're 50% on Pinocchio movies this year. But no, making fun of that, giving out some awards for that movie was very bad, great. Because A, humongous stars. B, movie made by a mega corporation is a cash grab. No problem with that. And I always heard stories about, Sandra Bullock went to accept her Razzie. She got a Razzie the same year she got the Oscar. So it seemed like it was a fun thing. It seemed like we were all having fun. What is this I hear about you nominating a 12-year-old girl for Worst Actress? A child? Now, granted, I did not see Firestarter, but I cannot imagine this child's acting was so bad, so monumentally bad, this 12-year-old, that she deserves an award for it, that she needs to be recognized nationally for how bad she was. And I know what you're thinking, well, it's all in good fun. It's all a little silly thing we do. Yeah, well, maybe it is for you. You guys aren't getting the awards for how much you suck, although I'm sure we'll have some next year. But the idea that this little girl is 12 and she has to deal with not only the fact that she was in a movie that apparently people didn't really like, I don't know, I didn't see it. And to be fair, haven't looked it up, don't know who this kid is. She's probably gonna be doing much better things in the future. Also, she didn't write it, she didn't direct it, she's 12. On my podcast, Mostly Nitpicking, where we frequently make fun of movies for not being good, we try very clearly to say, hey, listen, this performance probably wasn't very good. It's never the kid's fault. It's always the director's fault, or the casting, or the writing, or something, but never the kid. And I really feel like a big part of this is your targets. If you are targeting some crappy Disney remake, that's great. Targeting Morbius, that's also funny. It's hilarious to make fun of Morbius. We all did it so many times that the movie came back into the theaters. We rose that movie from the dead by mocking it. That's incredible. And also, it really isn't a very good movie. But the idea that you're gonna take performances that are okay and say they're the worst of the year, and obviously people making movies probably don't really care about this. Nobody gives a shit about, oh man, Tom Hanks is really gonna cry himself to sleep every night because he's got 2 Razzie Awards this year. One for a movie that, it was weird, but he was okay in, I think. I don't know. I saw the Elvis movie, and I'm confused as you are, but it's, he tried. Are we gonna penalize actors for trying? Like the Pinocchio movie, again, yes, absolutely penalize them. But Jesus, maybe I never noticed this before because you would always go after big Hollywood actors. And they're big Hollywood actors. It's always fun to take the wind out of their sails a little bit, That's why things like roasts are so popular. But part of the thing about roasts is there's this mutual kind of understanding that we're both cool with each other, right? They always say that. You only roast the ones you love. And that is the biggest problem here, is that there does not seem to be that level. I doubt the Razzie nominees were all called by the Razzie Commission and say, hey, by the way, we're going to make fun of you. Is that okay? If they did, still weird that they did it, but that makes it a little bit more acceptable because at least they're in on the joke. But also, it's a child. It's a 12-year-old child. It's crazy that we let kids act in general. I always think that's weird. I still think it's weird. But okay, Razzies, clearly you've lost your way, but you're going to keep doing this. You're going to make more of these. So I have a suggestion. Just one. New awards every year. Never do the same Razzie. Because here's why the Firestarter girl is in Worst Actress. Because you had to pick 5. Because you have to do Worst Actress. That's what the Oscars do. But A, who cares? And B, that means we're just going to take performances that are, substandard, or just don't deserve to be put in a situation like this, like those of a child, and we're gonna throw them into this category because there's not 5 worse ones. Also, I think Bryce Dallas Howard was in that category for a Jurassic Park movie. She's fine in it. She's not terrible. She's okay. Most actors are okay in movies that aren't very good. It's very rare you see an absolutely bad performance. But either way, if it felt like something where everybody was in on the joke, Razzies, this would be cool. Like, here's an example. This year, give Tom Hanks the most accent award. Not worst, not best, just most. Because he did so many accents this year. It's honestly, it's very strange. Give Don't Worry Darling some award, like best ensemble, as a joke because they all seem to hate each other. But like, that's what these are. You can announce them at the same time as you give them out. If you want, you can maybe get in touch with the people because now you're cool. Now it's like a fun thing. It's not, you're not making fun of them. You're all having a little joke together at the expense of award shows. So now you can call these guys. You can say, hey, Tom, we're going to do an award, most accent, because you did so many accents in some movies we like, maybe some that didn't work as well, but either way, it's gonna be a fun little thing. You'll look like a great sport for showing up. You can do the award in an accent, like accept the award in your Australian accent and just pretend like, oh, finally I get to say my real accent. Like, do something like that, because then when you're pitching these, when you're pitching most morb or whatever, or you're pitching worst little girl actor, someone would say, hey, that last one sucks. The Morbius one, that's great. We could do multiple awards for him, but we're gonna keep the little girl out of this, right? And everyone would go, yeah, oh, of course. Not this kind of last minute, shoot, I need a 5th. What other movies have bombed this year that everybody forgot about? And I'm sure, you know, I'm sure, this kid was probably like happy to be part of it. I bet it was a good experience. Work with Chris, Evans, that was probably pretty nice. And, it's a good stepping stone to move. But also, it was not a great critical movie, so probably not psyched to think about that again. You weirdos. The Razzies. Ugh. Like, even the word raz, right? It's raspberries, but it's also the idea of you're razzing them, that's like you're making a joke with your friend. And I don't think you're friends with the 12-year-old. In fact, I don't think you're friends with a lot of these people. But wouldn't it be funny if you came up with fun awards and you have a platform, people read about yours, so just make up new awards every year. Do like a most sexual tension award between, like The Rock in Black Adam and Hawkman or something. Like, that's funny. It's kind of silly, Do a most screaming goats jokes award and say that the award hasn't been handed out since 2007 because that's when that joke kind of died. But hey, it's back this year for Taika Waititi. Like, just like a little thing, It doesn't have to be mean-spirited. It can just be silly. That what we're doing is we're not making fun of individual people, especially children, making fun of the idea of award shows, Hollywood. It's kind of silly. These people all get paid millions of dollars to dress up and do accents and read from scripts. It's silly, and it's fun to point that out, Greenest screen can go to, Doctor Strange or something. Like, those are fun ones. But like, man, this idea that these are just like a bunch of, and it's also boring. Like, it would be funny if these were funny, and you were like, oh, I wonder, because nobody cares who's getting Razzies. We all know Morbius is gonna get a lot of Razzies. It was a bad movie. Pinocchio too. But the idea that every year you would open up the newspaper, that's what you guys read these on, right? You open up the newspaper, oh, look at what the Razzie nomination categories are. I didn't even know these would be categories. That's funny. That's very funny. And maybe, we would all know what's going to win going into it. But hey, that's how normal, like award shows work. They always do this going into it. So, like, we all know who's going to win. Here's a prediction. I don't think The Fabelmans is the best movie of the year. I do think it will probably win because of the ranked choice voting and because Steven Spielberg is their friend. And this is a movie about how great movies are, and he is their friend. I'm not saying I think it's bad or anything like that. And I'm not saying that's all it's about. The Academy loves movies about how cool movies are. And when a famous person, like when someone they're all very close to makes it and stuff, I think, here's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be the number 2 pick on a lot of lists. Like, some of them are going to pick Everything Everywhere All at Once. And, some of them are going to pick like another movie, The Whale, maybe. I don't know. But then that will be everybody's number 2. Because they're all like, and I like Fabelmans, that was nice. And then boom, that wins. That's my guess. It's just a guess. But again, look at how obvious that can be. Do an award, though, like Best Picture, and then in parentheses, like about how wonderful movies are and how movie stars are the real heroes, and parentheses. And then look, a ton of them. You know, Babylon, you got The Fablemans. There's so many of those this year. That's fun. Do an award for most profitable movie and give it to The Rock. And just, that's the joke. Is it's like he said it was the most profitable movie. Here's an award for most profitable movie. He could accept it. You could have people come out with like throwing, you know, dollar bills in front of him as he walks up to accept it. I mean, he's not going to go, but you know, like that's the idea. In conclusion, Razzies, get it together, apologize to the child, and figure something out that makes these more fun if you're going to keep doing them in the future. Because making fun of Hollywood, making fun of award shows, fantastic. But unless you're going after straight up villains, like people that did crimes, if you're just going after people who tried to make some art and it didn't work as well as they hoped, you gotta be on the same page. Everybody has to be in on the joke, including them. I'm not gonna say do better, because that feels like one of those things where it's like, do better. I'm not gonna tell you how, because that requires work on my part, but just like be better. Hit my expectation of better. I'm not gonna tell you what that is. So just, you know, kind of nebulously feel bad that you're not doing it well enough and do better next time. Like, I'm not going to tell you that right now. Make better jokes that are less mean, unless it's about someone who is genuinely a bad person, then go for it.